Dear students, in previous video I have already taught you civics lesson 1, our constitution. Okay? So today we will read salient features of the constitution, chapter 2. So all of you take out your book, open page 127. Salient features of the constitution, we will read according to the syllabus. Salient features of the constitution, that is single citizenship, universal adult franchise, fundamental rights only, names, then fundamental rights, directive principles of the state policy, meaning, and welfare state meaning. Okay? So first we will read the salient features of the constitution. Our constitution has established a democratic society providing justice to all, irrespective of their social and cultural background. It has many salient features, some of which are given in your chapter. Okay? So our constitution has established a democratic society which providing justice to all irrespective of their social and cultural background. We will read the salient features. First point is given, single citizenship. The Indian constitution provides for a single citizenship. This means that all Indians, irrespective of the state of their domicile, are the citizens of India. This is unlike the system prevailing in the USA, where one can be citizen of the New York state as well as an American citizen. In India, a person born in Punjab or in Kerala can only be a citizen of India and not a citizen of the state of their domicile as well. This has been done to ward off separatist tendencies and promote fraternity and unity among the people. By the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2003, the Government of India has granted dual citizenship to all the persons of Indian origin who migrated to other countries after January 26, 1950. All privileges of an Indian citizen except the right to vote could be enjoyed by PIOs, that is, persons of Indian origin. Okay, so what do you mean by the single citizenship? Single citizenship means a person is a citizen of a country irrespective of the state of a country he or she belongs to. In India, a person is a citizen of India no matter whichever state he or she belongs to and is accepted legally as a citizen in every part of the territory of India. He or she enjoys all the benefits and privileges of being a citizen. So that is known as single citizenship. In short, I told you. Then after that, universal adult franchise. This means that all persons of 18 years of age and above have the right to vote irrespective of their caste, color, religion, etc. The British had provided for communal electorate under the Acts of 1919 and 1935. The Constitution of Independent India has replaced this system by introducing joint electorate. According to this system, resident voters of a constituency have to vote for the same candidate irrespective of his caste or creed. Similarly, some seats are reserved for candidates from scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. All people from such constituencies have to vote for the candidates of the area. This system is aimed at curbing communal politics and fostering communal harmony. So this is all about universal adult franchise. So now I will tell you what is the meaning. I have already told you. Again I am telling what is franchise. Okay, franchise is derived from the French word franc, which means free. So it means free exercise of the right to choose one's representative. Okay. Then what is universal adult franchise? Universal adult franchise means every Indian citizen who has completed the age of 18 years or above, irrespective of their religion, race, caste or sex, has the right to vote and elect representatives to the legislature. That is known as universal adult franchise. Okay, now we will read fundamental rights. Meanings is given you, but I will tell you shortly. Then after that I will tell you the names of fundamental rights. So the fundamental rights are the basic human rights which provide the conditions essential for the all-round development of a human being. They protect people against unjust discrimination among members of the community. They don't make distinctions between human beings based on race, color, sex, religion or other such conditions. They give recognition to dignity and equality of all human beings. Okay. So what is the meaning of fundamental right? Fundamental rights are those basic conditions of social life which are essential for a individual's all-round development. So our constitution give us, you can read from the book these names, I have not given you here. Our constitution gives us 7 fundamental rights: right to equality, right against exploitation, right to constitutional remedies, right to education, right to freedom of religion, right to freedom and cultural and educational right. So we got only 6 fundamental rights. And the limitations, just you read for information, and right to information also is given in your book. Then we will read fundamental duties. Fundamental duties are the moral obligations for the citizen to help to promote a spirit of patriotism and to uphold the unity of a country. It is the duty of all the citizens to abide by these duties. Duties and rights go hand in hand. There can be no rights in a society where there are no duties. For example, if we have a right to life, it is our duty to respect others' life and not to injure another person. Similarly, the right to freedom implies that we have to maintain a self-resistance and accord similar rights to others which we want for ourselves. It was in keeping with these ideals in view that fundamental duties were incorporated in the Constitution of India. So, I have already told you about the fundamental duties. How many fundamental rights we are having? We are having the 7 fundamental rights is given: right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, right to constitutional remedy, right to education. Okay? Like that, fundamental duties are also given. You can read from the book, but in the syllabus it is given only the meaning. I have told you the meaning of fundamental duties. What is the meaning of fundamental duty? I told you why. What are the fundamental duties? Fundamental duties are the moral obligations for the citizen to help to promote a spirit of patriotism and to uphold the unity of a country. It is the duty of all the citizens to abide by these duties. Okay? Then after that, we will read the meaning of directive principles. What is the meaning of directive principles? That is given in page 138. You can open your book and see from there, page 138, meaning of the directive principles. The directive principles are the guidelines to be followed by the government in the governance of the country. Part 4 of the Constitution has the directive principles of state policy under Article 36 to 51. The directive principles are not a substitute for laws of the country. They are called directive principles because the government has to take them into consideration while making laws. These principles contain lofty ideas, deep human thought, belief and knowledge. These principles are not found in any other constitution of the world except those of India and Ireland. So, the directive principles exercise influence on the working of the government by providing guidelines to the state to ensure the establish a welfare state. A welfare state is a state which seeks to ensure the maximum happiness of maximum number of people living within its territory. The Constitution of India seeks to establish India as a welfare state. Although the words welfare state are not specifically mentioned in the Constitution, the aims and objectives of the welfare state are clearly pointed out in the directive principles of the state policy. So, these directive principles emphasize that the goal of Indian polity is a welfare state where the state has a positive duty to ensure to its citizens social and economic justice and dignity to the individual. Both the union and the state governments have over the past 6 decades taken steps to implement directive principles which aim at establishing social and economic democracy, the basic goal of a welfare state. So, what is the goal of a welfare state also? It is given, but in our syllabus only meaning is given. You just read the meaning of the welfare state. And aim of the welfare state means only it establishing social and economic democracy of the basic goal. That is the basic goal of a welfare state. Okay.